This evening to Cairo because I'm being told Mr. Nicholas Natuhereza is now joining us, the head coach of the Gazelles, who start their qualifying battles to the Afrobasket tomorrow. There's some really tough games. There he is. Nick, a very good evening. Asante Sana for joining us. How are you doing?
Good evening, Andrew. I'm doing well.
I guess I'll start with a basic question. Every journalist has this same question. How is training and how excited are you ahead of tomorrow?
Training is going well. Of course, we're excited. As always, it's always a good opportunity for us to be able to play at this stage. And yeah, stakes are high considering the competition. So yeah, there's not only excitement, but there's also a little bit of pressure on everyone. So we're trying to stay calm and be ready for the games.
Nick, Tuka here, I know you've been part of the team for a couple of years now, but you are the main guy now. What has it been like to lead the team as the head coach?
Yeah, I think the fact that I've been around for a while has helped me to settle in quickly because I've been with the Gazelles since 2017. Actually, the first tournament I was part of was here in Cairo. So yeah, it hasn't been a tough transition for me. And right now my focus is on the job that we have to do.
How far has this team come? You've talked about being part of the team since 2017. In the recent past, especially the qualifiers, I don't think we've been blessed to have big names like we are doing right now. I mean, how much joy does that give you?
Of course, a lot of joy. I know that the time we were here in 2017, we didn't have any player that had played international at the time. I think we were supposed to have Sharon, but she didn't make the trip for the tournament. The last qualifiers that we had in Kampala, we had Janan Otto and Marie. And of course, for Afrobasket, we saw a few big names come in. And for the first time, I think in our history, we have really, big names and I think high-level talent for the qualifiers. But of course, that is, I think, it cuts across that many countries are also doing the same. South Sudan is not short of, talent from abroad. And of course, as always, Egypt has always been one of those teams that, be prepared and ready to compete. So yeah, as much talent as we have, it will not be easy at all. I think it will still be very close for all the teams that are here.
Hi, Nick. Albert here. My question is about the youth in the team. We've had a team that is really, really different from what we've previously had because only 4 players in Cairo right now who are at Afrobasket. And a lot of those players in that team, the first time they played for the Gazelles is 2019 onwards. But you have players who are playing there for the first time. You have the 2 young girls from St. Noah, Bushra Namayanja and Maxine Onyango, who were just the other day playing under 18. You have Sheila Lamunu, you have Shakira, you have Becky Longom. All these guys are playing their first full-on competitive tournament for Uganda at the senior level. What has it been like seeing them grow into the idea that they are actually at the senior level now, and how do you think they will contribute to the team in the tournament?
Yeah, I think any national team, especially, for us here in Africa, where we don't have very high-level leagues, it's important that we give, young players an opportunity to compete and, prepare for the big stage early on because they don't have any other opportunity. Every time you take them, it means it will be the first time. So for us, I think it was important that we get a good blend of youth and, experience. I think that's how national team survives over the years, and you don't want a situation where all the senior players retire or stop playing for some reason and you don't have any replacement. And I think that was probably an example for, just recently, we lost about 3 players that were a big part of the senior national team in the guard positions, and we basically had to replace all of them. So I think this is a good start for us to make sure that we have youth always coming through the ranks to mix with the senior players and learn from them, but also learn from the experience. I will tell you that so far, the 2 youngest players that we have on the team have not shown any any fear. In practice, they compete just as much as the senior players. And in some cases, you can see that they're even a little bit more, more skilled and ahead of the curve, so to speak. So yeah, we're excited about that, and hopefully they will get the experience that will help them to be better, and to grow, going forward. And we cannot say that how much they're going to contribute in this tournament, of course. And we've actually had a chat with almost every player now in our individual meetings to make sure that players understand what our expectations are and what their role is going to be. But one of the things we told the young players that they should not, feel like they're under any pressure to do so much. They will play if they can play, given the situation. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that they appreciate the opportunity they have, to see high-level basketball and pick as many positives as they can to help them grow and be able to compete at this level.
What has Nick? What has Claire looked like since she joined the team? But also, we all know that the biggest, threat is going to come from Egypt. But I'm sure you're not going to be taking anything for granted. Anything you've seen or heard of what South Sudan, Kenya, and Burundi look like? But also, have you confirmed who we are starting with? I want to think the technical meeting is done, if not about to get done.
Actually, you guys got me out of the technical meeting.
Yeah, apologies. So you want to rush back?
Yes, we are playing Kenya tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Cairo time, which I guess is 4:30 Ugandan time. And then we'll play Egypt on Tuesday. And like I've said already, I think all these teams here are high level. They all have players that are playing abroad. Of course, I think for Egypt's case, they have a really good league and players that have played at a high level for a long time. So I think it's going to be really close. We cannot even begin to take anything for granted. I know that Burundi has a player that played in the US, and I think he's currently playing in France. So I think every team presents a threat, but the most important thing is that we worry about ourselves and prepare to handle whatever is thrown at us, and hopefully we'll be able to be successful and qualify.
Claire, that's about Claire. What's she looking like?
Yes, Claire. Of course, Claire is looking good. Of course, usually when a player is not in a position for you to see them play, whether it's in a high-level competition, but thankfully for us, she has been active, playing in a local league back in California, and she's been in shape. She had her first practice today morning, and she picked up things quickly. Of course, she brings a lot of experience. It was impressive to see her, picking up things quickly, and even in some aspects, correcting her teammates, and speaking up early on. Usually, sometimes when players come in, they're a little bit hesitant to express themselves about certain things, but she picked up things quickly and was able to to blend in, and we're hoping that we have a session actually later tonight, and then probably tomorrow morning. Probably that will be enough for us to be fully ready to compete. And of course, with her, I've been waiting. We hoped we could have had her a little earlier, but it's what it is, and we'll hopefully what she has picked up and the practice she has gotten in will be enough to help her contribute against Kenya.
In continuation on Claire, you've not had everyone together at once because of different challenges, visas, flights, etc. How has that affected practice, and how do you think it will flow into the first game? Because I know even right now there are 2 or 3 players that haven't yet arrived or arrived tonight in Cairo. How are you managing that sort of adversity in terms of your game plans for tomorrow and going forward?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it helped that we had a couple of days back in Uganda, but some of the players that were in camp are not here with us. It's always a challenge, to not have all the 12 players in camp, ready to train and prepare for the games. But like I said, I think from the beginning, I don't think we necessarily had enough time to prepare, but we can't complain about that. we just need to make the best of the situation. When we got here, I told the players that were here that, right now it's important for them to maybe get the opportunity to pick up on the things that we're doing without, a bigger group, so that when the group comes, they can, fall in. But I don't think we can do much about that right now. It's just prepare them as best as we can when they get here. Actually, we're expecting Page to be here probably in about an hour, and will be part of our night's practice. So we'll be 10 players deep, going into tonight's practice and tomorrow's game.
Well, Coach Nick, John Vianney Simbe here. For me, my question is that looking at the kind of performance that the Gazelles put up at the last Afrobasket in Rwanda, so much excitement was created, and of course the wave and belief in the team. Is it that obvious that following that kind of performance, it's automatic that the team is just going to continue on that kind of wave, and therefore qualification should be an automatic outcome?
There's nothing automatic, I think, in sports, but most importantly in our zone. I think we have the most competitive zone in Africa. That is both for the men and basketballs from the zone. The men's Afrobasket, I think, had about 5 teams from zone 5. So it's a very competitive zone, and I don't think anything is you can take anything for granted and assume that just because you had Afrobasket last time round, it's going to mean that you qualify again. But the most important thing is that we did what we did in the last Afrobasket. We have an opportunity to build on, the experience also for the players that were there. But also even for us, the coaches, we look at that as, wanted to go one better, qualify for Afrobasket, and also even do much better at Afrobasket. So as much as we have all those hopes and plans. Need to change, things can take a turn that you don't expect. And in this case, prepare for starters tomorrow and see how everything goes over this week.
Nick, we really thank you very much for taking time off. Clearly, you're taking committing and your busy schedule this evening to speak to NBS PressBox. We don't take that for granted. Asante Sana, the entire country obviously will be following that game tomorrow. We are behind you, and we shall be hoping we pick up the first win. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of, your meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Okay, there you go. That is Nick Natuhereza speaking to us live in Cairo as the ladies prepare for battle tomorrow. The plan is to qualify for the Afrobasket. You're watching NBS PressBox. We are proudly powered by MTN.